Hey everybody, welcome back to another Strategy Corner video. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Foundry today, since I think some people were a little bit maybe confused by my strategy that won me the game against Icky, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the gambles I was taking and why I was taking them. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So for those of you that did not watch the game or had a little trouble following along what I was doing for most of the game because of the camera bug, what I'd been doing for most of the game was sitting in this spot or in this spot here with this blast. So the reason for that is twofold. One, these spawns over here happen a ton. They are very common spawns. I want to say, in terms of the map, they're like 7 to 8% of like the entire gem pool is right here, or the other. This one's also about 7 to 8% over here. This side I feel like is a little bit more valuable than that side, specifically because a blue spawns right here, and a blue can also spawn right here on this little raised area. So you have a direct line with a blast and super speed right to it. So for that reason, I was kind of camping out here. You also have access to these spawns right over here. You just have to drop down, come get them. They're very powerful, very swingy. So I do think those spawns are very important and very easy to camp. So that was why I was kind of hanging out up here. I will also note that it's also very easy to get from one side to the other. You just roll down, jump on that ramp, get over here. You don't have to blast. You could save your blast if you jump and just kind of fly across. So I do think this camp spot is actually particularly effective. It can be the only real downside to this is getting, if there's a slew in this tunnel, you have to be pretty accurate with it, which can be tough to do in the heat of the moment. And also, this spawn over here in particular is also pretty common, which means that if you're coming from over there, you're going to have to try to go for a swipe, which can be pretty tough. So, like, for example, if I were coming from over here and I wanted to get over there, I'd probably have to go for something like this, and then, see, I only got one of those, but, you know, if your opponent's been camping in the middle, they're going to be able to get a ton of value out of that spawn, so, not always the best, but I do think in terms of expected value, this is probably one of the best camp spots. Now, some other important things you can do on this map if your opponent has taken up claim to those areas in particular is this middle default here can be particularly powerful with the Mega Marble. So for example, this spawn is up over there, you use this Mega Marble, you pop the Mega, you're over here now too. Your opponent typically won't be able to, if they're camping on that side, they're not going to be able to get over here. The problem is that if your opponent is camping up here, you pretty much already and it spawns, you've guaranteed lost this entire spawn, pretty much just by default. Especially with there being blues up here, that can be particularly devastating. Getting to these spawns over here is also pretty easy. You just have to blast and, you know, not mess that up. But honestly, I do think this is probably the best default for this map in particular. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about for this map in particular. I don't think this map has very many particular strategies that are much more unique than other maps. I don't want to say I've decoded the map because that wouldn't be correct. I do think, like I said, this particular area right here is super powerful because the blues are lopsided. There's more blues on this side of the map than there are on that side of the map, because one can also spawn over on top of this thing. There's a blue that'll spawn here sometimes, and you literally just have a direct line at it too. So again, I had been camping this spawn pretty much all game. There were a couple up top spawns that happened during the game, and you could see me. They were on the they kept being on the opposite side of me, so you kept seeing me have to jump and fly across to get to them. But I mean, it's so quick. You can literally just do that little bit of diagonal movement, and you're across. It's that easy. So, trying to think about if there's anything else here. I do think the super speed is probably the best powerful in this map, but you can honestly make do with a lot of stuff. So like you have a gyrocopter here, spawns up over here. I mean, if it were up over here, you'd be able to just get right to it over here. Assuming, I mean, obviously the blast is going to be your big opponent here. With that, Mega Marbles are particularly effective for scooping up these pinball spawns. See if I can get one here to demonstrate. Come on. Go on, give it to me. Give me one pinball spawn so I can show what I'm talking about, please. There we go. So like Mega Marble here is very, very effective. You come at it from an angle, you could just, well, unless you pop it, but you see what I mean there. It's just an easy scoop up. So that's pretty simple. These back area spawns are also very important to get because they're very swingy and they can. I noticed they repeat spawn a lot, so being able to navigate these quickly is very important. Because you are very prone to blasts here. You get blasted here, you go off the back of the map, and you'll respawn all the way over here, which is, you know, back outside the area you want to be on. And your opponent will have scooped up this entire spawn. So, not great. You know, for your chances. That was kind of what also scared me against Icky was this spawn eventually did show up near the end of the game, and if he had a blast, I was cooked. But he didn't have a blast, so we ended up splitting the spawn. But yeah, so these spawns in the back are also very important to be able to navigate to quickly, which is another plus for this spawn, because like you go over here and you just you're already here. So like, I mean, it works from both sides too. You know, you're over here, you're sitting here, and you're already here. So, you know, you don't have to navigate up these ice slopes or anything to get there. If you're coming from the middle, right, and you only have a Mega Marble, now you got to roll all the way across, and I'm already here. I've already beat you here by a mile. You know, so that's kind of why, again, I was sitting up here for this game. So, yeah, I mean, I just want to address the elephant in the room. Yes, I got lucky by, you know, having that spawn over here appear at the very end of the game and kind of seal the deal for me. But, I'd been gambling on this spawn pretty much all game long, and, I don't know. If it hadn't spawned, you know, obviously I'd be looking really stupid, so that's kind of my... the caveat to me camping this particular spot here. You know, and if it had spawned on, whoopsies. If it had spawned on the other side and I'd done that, then I would have lost the game. But you know, if it had spawned on the other side and, you know, I just was able to do this too, then that would have been fine too. But yeah, I mean, traversing these middle spawns here is also pretty simple. I think the only real issue you're going to face on this map is just going to be handling the melee on some of these. Also, knowing how to do this if that blue shows up is important. If you're on the bottom part and the blue shows up. But yeah, pretty much this is the identical spawn that I got at the end of that game, and I was sitting right here. This is where I was. It was hard to tell with the camera, but like, yeah, I had a super speed, the blast, and I literally could just do this. And the last spawn was all the way over here. I was able to just kind of go doink, and that was kind of game over from there. But yeah, so that was kind of my strategy for this map. Unfortunate that I kind of have it outed. I'm gonna out myself a bit with this video and explaining my thought process for this map. We'll kind of make it so that everyone's able to kind of copy paste it But I do also think this is a very unfortunate because I do think this is just going to turn this map almost into another 50-50 map. You know, because you're going to constantly have people just being like, okay, fine, we're going to make distance and just play for the split. You know, you're going to have one person on this side and one person just kind of camping over here on the other side. You know, and it's just going to turn into, oh, well, the spawn was on this side, so there's nothing you can really do about it. So, yeah, I do think this map has a lot of potential to be a very, I don't want to say luck-based map, but I do think that because of the way it's set up, it's going to turn into a luck-based map. I still do think this side's the better side to be sitting on, though. Just with one blue right here that can spawn, another blue that's right over here that can spawn, and the blue that can spawn all the way over there in that top area. I mean, the tunnel blue you still have a decent chance at if you're good at aiming that sort of thing. I'm going to see if I can maybe restart and make that blue up here so I can kind of show what kind of angle you have to be working with in order to make that snipe work. Okay, yeah, that's good. Alright, let's go see what kind of angle we need to be working with, because I don't know if I would have grabbed it on that pass through. Using those triangles as well is also something you can do. If you're coming at it from this angle and you need to get up and you don't suck at the game, you can use these triangles. So yeah, just kind of like that, and you're here. Alright, let's try it. Let's see what happens. There you go. So
Super speed.
So yeah, I do think, like I said, this map has a lot of, I do think this map has a lot of hidden strategy kind of baked into it. And the middle default, because of the walls and how this map is set up, I do think the middle default, ironically, is actually a negative. You know, okay, I'm gonna turn on the comp timer so I can kind of let the clock run and show you what I mean by that. Competitive mode, okay. Gonna restart here, play like I normally would, but this time I'm gonna play in the middle default. So I'm gonna come over here, grab up all this value here, I'm gonna leave the last red, and I'm gonna go to the middle, take the blast. I have a super speed and a blast. Next spawn's here. I missed the blue because I suck. Okay, grab that, and then that, come over here. I'm gonna play for the middle default again, leave that last red behind, come sit over here, and then back over here. I mean, the middle default clearly working right now. Gonna grab that expired, come sit over here again. Now I've lost that entire blue. I've lost that blue because I'm not camping up there. I'm not camping on that side, I'm not camping on this side. My opponent will have had me beat by a lot had there been somebody camping on that side. So gotta go back to the middle again. I've just lost a blue. It's gonna reward me with another blue. But again, my opponent can very easily snipe that blue as well, so it's not a guarantee just because it showed up that time that it'll show up again. Damn. And I just lost that blue. I just lost this entire spawn as well. You know, so, you know, you're making up for, by camping up here, you're kind of making up for losing some of these middle spawns by getting extremely high value cluster spawns. And I mean, look, I just camped there, and here's an entire spawn on my dome. Go back up there again. And next spawn's gonna be all the way across, but again, you can very easily just super speed across. Yeah, I'm gonna leave 2 reds this time. The one downside is that, you know, your opponent takes last reds, you will not have the ability to go back up here. But
super speed. Blast.
Yep. As if to prove my point.
Blast.
Sitting right here. Next spawn's gonna be across. This is the only real spawn that you will have a major disadvantage on. right there. Every other spawn, I'd say you have at least an equal footing, or you will have somewhat of an advantage towards. Or, you know, if it's up here, you will have a heavy advantage towards.
Super speed.
Also this one, I guess, you have a major disadvantage. But your opponent won't be able to get both yellows. You'll be able to get one of the yellows, and just your opponent will have to grab the other, because it'll be, you know, split by the wall. You know, you're right here. I'm already over here, you know. You know, you can also do this on the other side. You know, grab up this last expired, and it's right here. So, so yeah, I think honestly turning on the comp timer is really smart. Now I can kind of show off what I mean with the gems respawning. Get over here, sit right here. Now you're waiting, and it spawns a blue right behind me. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, this 100% is what I kind of expected to happen against Icky, and this is not the spawns I got. That was why that game was close. But yeah, this is kind of what I mean when I say that this map is very much I think very much going to be determined going forward by who's camping up top versus who's camping off in the middle. I do think camping up top has a higher expected value than camping in the middle. So anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about my strategy. Since it seemed like some people were, you know, saying, oh, well, why was he even sitting there in the first place? It's like, to me, I feel like this spawn, this camp spot has so much potential to just be completely and utterly devastating. Especially in, you know, regular circumstances where these up top spawns kind of spawn a lot. So, so yeah, that was all I really wanted to talk about, and that's why, since again, it felt like some people were a little confused by what I was doing that whole time and why I was up there in the first place.
Super speed.
But yeah, so that was all I really wanted to talk about today. Also, yeah, you can get to this blue very easily from over there. But the only other thing is that you won't be able to get to that other blue very easily from over here. Here. And you kind of have to go like this, and then like that, and then yeah, then you get the blue. But like I said, that's why I was sitting where I was, and there hadn't been a single blue left in that yet in that entire game. So I was kind of also banking on there eventually being a blue somewhere, but it didn't show. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna talk about. See you guys.